What? Well,
Welcome to eM².
welcome to eM². Hello, guys. It is I, Epic Maria, and this is a podcast.
I'm Aaron Michael. I'm very sick. Forgive my voice. Those are not our legal names, but who cares? That's not what we're here to talk about.
What we are here to talk about is the gays, TM.
SGA. Sex, gender, and attraction.
Our brains are used to understanding absolutes.
Good and bad, right and wrong, black and white, women and men.
But we must understand that the world is not ruled by absolutes. So queer theory explores and destroys the absolutes of gender, sex, and attractions.
But were you a girl or a boy?
What is a girl and what is a boy? Boy.
Is a woman someone that wears makeup and pretty dresses?
But not all women do.
Is a woman someone that has a female reproductive system?
But not all women do.
Is gender a social construct?
Yeah.
But it's not natural.
It is very natural. The non-binary and genderqueer identities have been existing since the beginning of time. Like the Mayans, the Navajo people, the Aztecs, the Hawaiians, and the Indians, and many others had more than two gender identities, before the Europeans decided to build their empires and colonize other people.
There are so many examples of different sexes in nature. Bacteria and many plants reproduce asexually, by themselves, without a partner.
Clownfish change sex halfway through their lives, which is the only reason why I went to see Finding Dory.
My God. Slugs and some types of snails are hermaphroditic, meaning they possess both the male and female reproductive organs.
And not everybody fits into the categories of male or female. There is a variety of sex organs and hormones. It's all over the place.
Sex is a person's biological state of being, and guess what? That's not even binary. Females have two X chromosomes, while males have an X and a Y. Intersex individuals can have one X, two X's and a Y, an X and two Ys, and a multitude of other chromosomal combinations and genetic mutations. So throw away your "but that's not natural" argument. The binary confines of sex are false.
A lot of people think that gender and sex are synonymous, but they're
But
not.
Stop it.
Sex is biological. Gender is an identity. Think of it as a beautiful sculpture that every single individual gets to construct, if they choose to.
Gender, like sex, is on a spectrum. One may identify as man.
You can identify as man, as the whole mankind. What Erin meant is you can identify as a man, just one of them.
I'm sorry. A woman, non-binary, meaning neither a man or a woman, gender fluid, and so on. From one gender to another, to a combination, to no gender at all.
It is a spectrum.
So, what's going on down there?
You. So many people have the fixation to know. They just have to know. They feel the necessity to point out people and figure out what kind of organ they have between their legs.
But when someone appears androgynous, they get confused, scared even. A lot of transgender and even cis, but gender non-conforming individuals are sexually harassed because strangers will do anything to figure out what people are. Parents like to color code their children so that strangers know what their genitals look like.
That sounds so messed up when you put it that way.
Time for a little public service announcement. A polite way to find out someone's pronouns is to simply ask them. It might be a little awkward, but just remember, it would be a lot more awkward to assume and have the individual have to correct you. Even if someone looks cis, they could be gender non-conforming, pre-transition, or unable to present as their preferred gender. An easy way to denormalize the idea that appearances equal gender is to add your pronouns to your Twitter, Instagram, or other social media bio.
Even if you're cis.
Especially if you're cis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the idea, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Then there is attraction. Sexual attraction is when you are sexually attracted to someone. This usually has to do with the other person's sex. Hetero meaning different, homo meaning same, bi, two, pan, all. Asexual, nah.
Romantic attraction is when you're romantically attracted to someone. This can be about the other person's sex or gender and have the same classifications as sexual attraction.
However, your attractions have nothing to do with your gender nor sex. Being trans does not make you gay.
And being gay doesn't make you trans.
Now, we have only used the word queer about 4 times in this episode, but I would like to highlight its importance. So let's begin with a little bit of history. The first person to use the word queer as a slur was some ugly guy named John Sholto Douglas in 1894. This ugly guy found out that his sons were gay and ruined his youngest son's love life by making sure the boyfriend of his youngest son, Oscar Wilde, went to jail for, existing as a gay human being. So, in the late 1920s, the word queer arrived to the United States. In the New York Stonewall riots, the community called themselves queer as an act of rebellion in the face of police brutality. Then, in the 1980s, when AIDS killed many members of the community, activists wore the word queer as a badge of courage. Now, a wide range of LGBTQ people use the word queer as an umbrella for anyone that isn't hetero nor cis.
All people that do not identify as cis and heteromantic and heterosexual are considered queer.
Queer. Today's youth is super queer. I love us! In fact, according to the UCLA School of Law and the UCLA Center for Health Policy Research, 27% of California teenagers are gender nonconforming. And according to a report by trend forecasting agency, J. Walker Thompson Innovation Group, only 48% of Generation Zs in the United States identify as exclusively hetero. Speaking of Generation Z, the faces that are leading the March for Lives movement for stricter gun laws are from the Generation Z. And the main face for it, Emma Gonzalez, is a queer Latinx. She's bisexual and she's awesome.
Another famous queer and my personal favorite historical figure is Alan Turing. During the Second World War, he developed one of the first computers, the Bombay, which was used to decipher the notorious German Enigma codes. His work helped the Allies to gain the upper hand and ultimately led to their victory in the war. He also developed the Turing test, a standard for testing the intelligence of a machine. His theories and methods persist into modern day, spurring the creation of the neural net processors, or learning computers, and helping develop more efficient ways of storing and processing information. However, his work was cut short in 1952 when he was convicted of gross indecency, having a homosexual relationship with another man, and was forced to undergo chemical castration. The painful series of synthetic estrogen injections led Turing into a life of despair and guilt. He took his own life in 1954. Many people know about Turing's inventions, but few can recall his sexual identity. His erasure from the queer community is absolutely disrespectful, especially after the work he devoted to the war effort. Since 1966, the Turing Award has been given annually by the Association for Computing Machinery for technical or theoretical contributions to the computing community. It is widely considered to be the computing world's highest honor, the equivalent to the Nobel Prize.
Did you know that 91% of giraffe sex is homosexual?
Why did I need to know that?
Just because. Why wouldn't you want to know that giraffes are gay?
And that concludes eM².
Yay! Have an epic epoch, do epic things, and see you later.